So based on the knowledge we talk already, and we try to practice to figure out what's going on in company. So right here on your slide 47, textbook 1-13, we try to do 3 accounting activities. Remember, what are these 3 accounting activities? Identified, find out what's going on in company, right? So we will find out is good apple or bad apple. After that, we try to recall it. So we try to write down the situations to tell them that's good or bad apples, right? After you write down it, what's the last step? Last activity we will do? Communication. So what does it mean? Prepare accounting output. What's accounting output? For financial statements. And use that to tell creditor investors apple is good or bad apples, right? So we are trying to use accounting equation, use the knowledge you have already to do these 3 activities. Okay? So let's focus on the first one, identified. So what does it mean? Identified, to find out what's going on in company. So identify, find out what happening. In company. Okay, so when we try to find out what's happening in company, at the same time we need to analyze transaction. So what does it mean, analyze? What we did last hour is analyze. So we need to know, for this kind of transaction, for this kind of situation, what's the result? What's the reason? What's the result? Okay, so analyze transaction, which means find out the reason and result. So last week I tried to help you to analyze transactions. What's the reason? What's the result? Okay. Transaction, remember what does that mean? Transaction, we talked about it in the first class. Transaction means 交易 means economic events. Okay, economic events means what? Everything about cash. Finance, accounting, we talk about the events only about money, and the money. So economic means money, and the money. Okay, so we try to find out what's going on in company, but these kind of things only about money. In other words, if something happened not related to money, we just ignore it. We don't recall it. Okay, so accounting we only base on transaction. Transaction means there's economic events. So this kind of things is about money, and the money. Okay? So when something happens, it's not about the money. Ignore it. We don't recall it. For example, let's practice it. If you purchase computer, could you tell me is transaction or not? Is it about the money? Yes, right? So it's transaction. Do we need to recall it? Yes, we need. Okay? Today, you discuss product design with potential customers. So you designed something, you discuss something with your customers. Is it transaction? No, it's not about the money, because discussion is not about the money. So do we need to record it? No, you don't need to, okay? You pay the rent. Is it transaction? Yes, of course. You pay the money. You pay the money. Paid means pay cash. So of course, it's money. Is it transaction? Yes. Do we need to record it? Yes, of course. Okay? For example, today, we try to hire employees. So we do the interview with the employees. Is it transaction? No, it's not. Interview, do you need to pay the money? No. Do you got the money? No, just talk. So the same as discussion. So it's not transaction. Do we need to record it? No, we don't need to, okay? So that's the first thing. Find out is transaction or not. After that, we will use the formula try to help us do the first activity, identified and analyze transaction, okay? Another thing is, before we analyze transaction, before we do it, first requirement, make sure this accounting equation always in balance. In balance, 保持平衡 means what? Left equal to right. Okay? So first requirement, please make sure that's in balance. So what does it mean? It means accounting equation assets equal to liability plus equity. When we use it, don't forget, always make sure that, for example, $100 should be equal to right. $100. Okay? So that's imbalance. Then how much for your liability? How much for your equity? Different company have a different numbers. Depends on your company situation. So maybe $40 plus 60. Okay? So when we try to analyze transaction, don't forget, make sure asset equal to liability plus equity. Make sure they are in balance. Left equal to right. Okay, we use it to do what? To double check. 检查是否有错。Okay. Jess, could you wake her up? Is she okay? If you're tired, please, you can take a walk or get some fresh. Okay? Or go to the bathroom. Any questions? Please, when we analyze transactions, always you need to do this to double check whether you did it correctly or not. Right? Okay. Second requirement. Don't forget, make sure when we talk about any transactions, make sure you have double effects. Double effect means what? When we think about it, you have to think at least 2 or more effects. So what does it mean? Just like we talk, always think about reason and results, right? So double effect means what? Always think about the reason and result. But the results, we are not sure. Maybe you have one result. Maybe you have two results. Maybe you have three results. Not sure. So that's why we ask you to think about two or more. Two or more because maybe you have not only one result. Okay? Okay. So based on these two requirements, then we could really practice the transactions, how to analyze the transaction, how to find out the company situations. Okay? And don't forget, when we try to write down the reason and results, we need a specific name. Cash, accounts receivable, they are assets. But you know, cash is not the same as accounts receivable, right? Because different accounting names tell you different situations. So when we try to analyze transactions, please, you need to write down the specific name. So you cannot just write down assets. Because assets, what kind of asset? Different kind of assets means different kind of things, right? Liability, the same. Please use the specific name. Equity, share capital, return earnings, they are not the same, right? So we need a specific name. Okay? Okay, then here, I will tell you how to analyze transaction. We don't have enough time, so maybe I just told you 3 transactions, and I will give you the time to practice another 2, okay? So for this, did you find out the first transaction from the company, but so many contents, right? Trying to find out the keyword. What's the keyword? I use the different color. Different color is, I try to tell you the keyword. So what happened? The keyword here told you Ray and Barbara Neal. Ray and Barbara Neal, they are the investors. What they are going to do? They try to invest. Did you find out the keyword? Invest. So investors invest the money in the company. SoftBuy is the company. Okay? Shares, 股票. So what's the shares, 股票? Shares, 股票 told you is a document. So shares, 股票 is the stock. So the stock means what? That's the document. So this document will tell you shareholders' ownership. So improve shareholders' ownership. Okay? So shares, stock, just prove shareholders' rights in the company. Okay, so when we talk about the stock, when we talk about the share, actually it's just a paper. a paper document. The paper document just prove, okay, you are our shareholders. That's it. So like your student ID. Your student ID also, there's a paper document to prove you are Yuanzhi students. That's it. Okay? So try to find out the keyword, because sometimes a lot of contents, but keyword is very important. Okay, so what's the keyword? Invest. So when we talk about the keyword invest, what kind of transaction it is? The transaction is investor invested in company. Okay, so this is the transaction. So did you find out so many contents and just make it simple to simplify it, become the short sentence. And based on this short sentence, what's the reason? Reason is, what's the result? Result is, right? So what's the reason? Reason is investors invested in company. What's the result? Investor invested in company, so you got the cash, right? So the result is you got the cash. Okay, so investor investing in company. Which accounting name we use? Share capital, right? Share capital told you investor investing in company. So which accounting name we use? Share capital. Okay, you got the cash, no problem, right? So which accounting name we use? Cash. So based on this, how to recall it? I will note share capital increase. Increase means incurred. Okay, because of this, what's the result? The result is your cash increase. Okay? So did you find out so many contents? Simplify it into this way. And also we simplify it in in less words. I just need 2 accounting names could describe the whole situation. So I just need 2 accounting words like this. And use it could describe 2 accounting names. I use it could describe the whole contents. Okay? Any questions? Okay. So don't forget, when we try to do it, based on accounting equation, asset is liability plus equity. What's the reason? Share capital increase, right? Share capital belong to equity, so we put it below equity category. Share capital increase incurred. Because of this reason, mean our cash increase, right? We got the cash. Cash belong to assets. So this is the reason. This is the result. Okay? After you've done this, don't forget double check it. How to double check it? Make sure left equal to right, right? So left, how much? $15,000 increase. What's the right? 15,000 increase. They are the same, right? So left equal to right. So they are in balance. So did you find out? They are in balance. Okay, so don't forget, after you've done this, double check it. How to double check it? Make sure they are in balance. Any questions? No? Then let's look at the second transaction. So what's the second transaction? Right here. Oh, it's quite simple, right? Company purchased computer equipment for 7,000 cash. Based on this, what's the reason? What's the result? Purchase computer equipment. This is your reason. Because of that, what's the result? 7,000 cash. 7,000 cash means you pay the cash. So this is your result. What's that? Paid cash. Okay? Because of reason, you got the result. For this reason, you purchase computer equipment. Means what? I bought computer. I got the computer, right? So the reason meant you got the computer. Okay, the result pay the cash, right? So you paid cash. Got the computer. Which accounting name we use? Here told you already, equipment. So which accounting name we use? Equipment. So your equipment you got a computer. Could you tell me your equipment increase or decrease? You got a computer. So your equipment increase or decrease? Increase, right? Because you got something. So your computer equipment increase. How much? $7,000. Okay? So there's a reason. What's the result? You pay the cash. So your cash should be decreased, right? So your cash decreased $7,000. Okay, that's it. Any questions? Equipment is your assets. Cash is your assets. Okay? No problem? Okay. Then, since you understand it, we use accounting equation. Don't forget. So based on accounting equation here, asset equal to liability plus equity. Our reason is you purchase equipment. So you purchase equipment. That's your reason. Okay? Purchase equipment. You got the equipment, so that's why increase. That's a reason. Because of that, did you pay the cash? Yes. So result is your cash decrease. That's your result. Okay? After that, don't forget double check it. How to double check it? left equal to right, right? So for your left, minus $7,000 plus $7,000. So what's the total final number? 0, right? So based on your left, you look at these two numbers, you find out is 0. How about your right? Nothing, right? Your right, nothing. So still 0. So did you find out? Left equal to right. So they are in balance. Okay? No problem? Okay. Then I will tell you last transaction for today. Then I will give you the time to practice it. Okay? Okay, last one. What happened? Trying to find out the keyword. So your company, soft buy, this is your company, soft buy. Company. What happened? Purchase headsets. So headsets is what? Accessories, 配件. So the reason is you purchase headsets. So this is your reason. Okay, and headsets, 耳机, accessories, usually they're small stuff, right? So which means you spend only small amount of money to buy it. So headsets, accessories, usually there's a small amount of money. So you spend small amount of money. When we spend a small amount of money, which accounting name we use? Supplies. Big money, we call it equipment. Small money, we call it supplies. 办公用品设备. Okay? So the term we use is small amount of money, we use supplies. 办公用品设备. Okay? Did you pay the money yet? You didn't pay the money. Which word told you you didn't pay the cash yet? Remember, on account, on credit, means you didn't pay the cash. Okay, so based on this, I could simplify it into short sentence. So what's that? Company bought supplies and did not pay cash. Okay, so based on that, I could simplify it into short sentence. After simplifying it into short sentence, find out the reason and result, right? So what's the reason? Company bought supplies. This is your reason. What's the result? You didn't pay the cash yet. So this is the result. Okay? You both surprised. So which means you got surprised, right? So you got surprised means what? Your surprise increase. Because you got surprised. Okay? Did you pay the cash? No. You didn't pay the cash means what? You owe someone money. You owe someone money. That's your liability, right? So you owe someone money. So that's your liability. Here, we didn't tell you, you write down something. So we owe someone money. We will give them oral promise. Because here didn't tell you, you write something. Since here didn't tell you, you write something, then we assume we give them oral promise. Which accounting name we use to describe? You owe someone money and you give them oral promise. I promise I will pay the money back in the future. Which accounting name we use? You owe someone money and promise and give them oral promise. Give them oral promise. Okay? Which accounting name we use? Give them oral promise. Accounts payable. Okay? Okay, that's it. Did you find out? That's how we analyze transaction. We record it. Okay, if you don't have any questions, we stop here. Please take out your notes. I uploaded the file long time ago, right? And I told you you could print out or bring it, the file by yourself. It's okay if you forgot, download it from portal because I uploaded the files long time ago. If you didn't bring your iPad or laptop and also forgot to print out the note, it's okay. I show you the file today. Don't forget bring it next time. So download the file from the portal. It's on portal already. So the note on page 7. If you forgot, it's okay. Don't forget to bring it next time. So from transaction 1, the keyword is invest, right? Oh, sorry. The keyword is invest. So did you find out? When we talk about shareholder invest in your company, so how we describe it? Share capital increase, right? That's a reason. What's the result? You got the cash. We talk about this, right? So this is your reason. This is your result. trying to write down the specific name and tell us how much increase or decrease. Okay? Based on this, please finish transaction 2 and 4. Look at transaction 2. For transaction 2, what's going on? Your company, here is the keyword, purchase office equipment. So you buy the equipment. Did you pay? Here told you not payable. So did you pay? No, you didn't pay. So borrow money to buy equipment. You didn't pay. Okay? So please finish transaction 2. If you forgot to bring your notes, please take a picture. Okay? Then transaction 4. Please look at transaction 4. Transaction 4, what's going on? Your company pay. Did you find out the keyword pay? So means what? You pay the cash. For what? Office rent. So you rent the office. So did you find out? Pay the cash already. So for this, tell us the reason, what kind of expenses happened. So this is the reason. Because of that, did you pay? Yes, right? So what's the result? So here should be your result. Okay? So the reason tell me is what kind of expense. Because of these expenses, increase or decrease. So don't forget, increase or decrease. Increase or decrease, how they affect your retained earnings, right? So how they affect your retained earnings. Your retained earnings. Okay, how they affect. Okay, please finish these 2. Let me check. You can go home. Any questions you could discuss with your classmates. So you could discuss it, or you could raise your hand, let me know you have some problems. Finish transaction 2 and 4. 2 and 4.